Let's face it, The Sims isn't just a game, it's a social phenomenon. If you've somehow been hiding under a rock, you may not know that The Sims was the top-selling game of last year. Over 4 million copies have been sold. That's an awful lot of little people running around yammering and gibberish.
I think The Sims is successful because it takes some of the conventions of games, but it puts them in a very mainstream aesthetic. So it's not medieval hack and slash. It's not monsters from hell. It's something that the average person can relate to.
The average person may indeed relate to The Sims, but not always in an average way.
This has become much more like a hobby than a regular game. You know, most games you kind of buy them, you play them for 10 hours and then put them on the shelf. The Sims is something that you keep on your hard drive and then you slowly go out and collect more and more stuff for it.
The real lesson of The Sims is on harnessing the creative power of grassroots citizens to contribute to the design and development of a game. They thought of it from the very beginning as a tool set for people to tell their own stories, to set their own goals, not a kind of rigidly railed interactive experience, but a participatory culture.
This participatory culture has resulted in over 200 websites in 14 languages, all dedicated to The Sims and objects you can download into the game.
Well, one way to look at this whole community thing is it's like an ecology. And so we have a lot of different fan sites occupying different niches in this ecology. Certain ones are dependent on others.
There are all kinds of websites out there with fan-created content like superhero skins, horror themes, period costumes, and even unpixelated naked Sims.
Some of the better ones kind of go off in a lot of different directions. There's one called 7 Deadly Sims, and they have custom stuff for the game based around the 7 Deadly Sims. There's another one called Sims Resource, which is pretty much kind of like a superstore of custom skins. There's a great parody of The Onion called The Sims, which is kind of a comedy site. Several news sites that are reporting on the other fan sites. They just go off in all sorts of directions.
It's being used more as an expressive tool than as a game. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. I know a lot of hardcore gamers who just hate it. They just hate it. The very things that the hardcore people get turned off by are what fascinate the people who have made it a phenomenon.
Custom personalized content is used to post original material on thesims.com. Screenshots can be easily uploaded from the game to the EA website. Whole stories are posted at a rate of about 100 a day.
At first they were very simple stories, kind of mainstream about the life of their sim. And then they've gotten much more involved over time. And so now some of the stories are these very elaborate parodies of teen slasher things. You know, we have people telling stories about their local Starbucks and how they hate it, or about how their sister got out of an abusive relationship.
This game has become more than the designers ever thought it would. Now, what does the future hold for The Sims?
Simsville is a new game we're working on, and it roughly falls between SimCity and The Sims. You can imagine a much more zoomed-in SimCity, where also the individuals have needs, like The Sims. The Sims Online is going to be a persistent world, you know, online version of The Sims. We're trying to put a lot of emphasis on of course, the social interaction, because now every character in the game is a real person. So basically, you'll have one avatar. You won't run a whole family. You'll run one character. And you can build a house. You know, you don't have to build a house. You can build any environment you want. We're building this community very indirectly. You know, we're sitting here designing a game, but what comes out of the game eventually is this, you know, very large, thriving community.
Ta-da.